Raiders! It's Raiders Fan Radio, a podcast by Raiders fans for Raiders fans who are the only fans that matter. That's right, Murf and Sonny from the Dago Dungeon. You got it right here, live.
Touchdown! Kenny Stabler goes all the way.
We miss you, we love you, and we'll see you in the Hall of Fame.
When you have great coaches, then after you have great coaches, you get great players. You have a great organization, and you tell them one thing. Just win, baby.
Well, I love this team. I think this team can win. I think this team can win.
Welcome in to episode number 54 of Raiders Fan Radio. This is the Greg Biekert episode. We're going to call it the Reggie McKenzie episode, but that is still undecided at this time if he's worthy of getting his own episode. I am your host, Sonny Dago. With me in studio, as always, is my co-host, Murf. Murf, how you doing today?
I'm doing fantastic, Sonny. I can hear that I'm doing better than you are, and we are thankful and grateful that you are making an appearance here on Raiders Fan Radio despite being under the weather, much like Willis Reed, or even more so, Derek Carr coming in after blowing your pinky up. You've returned to host and to guide our team to victory, our Raiders Fan Radio team. Thanks, Sonny. Appreciate you being here.
What do you think? You're better than me?
Why? Because I can get loud and you can't?
Yeah. I'm a little under the weather. Kind of like the Raiders. Not quite at my firing capacity that I should be or I expected to be as I entered in this week. But it's okay. All right, Murf. We're going to jump right into it this week. We're going to take next week off. Me and Murf, I think we've been putting out a podcast every single week since I believe like February or March. So we deserve a break. We think we deserve a break. So we're going to give ourselves a break. So there'll be no episode next week.
We're going on a bye with the Raiders.
Yes, the next episode will come out after the Patriots game. So we'll talk a little bit about the Dolphins game, a little bit about the Patriots game, and then we'll take some time off to rest our vocal cords and our lymph nodes and be back swinging after the Patriots game when we come back on the radio and talk about the great victory that's going to take place down in Mexico City against the Patriots. But anyway, until then, Uncle Mark, tell them where they can find out more about our show.
Hey, boys and girls, this is Uncle Mosh. That's right. Somebody actually claims Sonny and Murf. These two. Check them out on their website, RaidersFanRadio.com. You can friend them on Facebook at Raiders Fan Radio, or you can like their fan page at Raiders Fan Radio Podcast. Hey, I don't tweet. I don't even know how to use a Twitter, but they do. You can tweet them at Raiders Fan Radio. Call them. Leave a voicemail if you want. Go old school. 909-345-3346. That's 909-345-3346. Hey, do this. Please subscribe and rate Raiders Fan Radio on iTunes. You can listen to the show on all podcast services like Stitcher, TuneIn, Podcast Addict, and many, many more. Okay, am I done? Did I say all the stuff I was supposed to say? All right, I'm out of here.
Murf, today's a special day. It's November 10th. It's Friday. We're recording this episode, and two special things have occurred today. One significantly more important than the others, and I'll kick it to you for the first one, and then I'm going to go ahead with the second one.
Yeah, just want to take a quick second and thank all of you out there that protect and serve and honor our freedoms in our country on this wonderful day of Veterans Day. So I know that we have a lot of servicemen and women, especially overseas, that are active there right now. So we are thankful to the ones that are active, and then also the ones that have come home. You know, it's a big deal to us, and it's a big deal to honor you all for doing that and giving us a couple of knuckleheads and Derek Carr jerseys a chance to get on here and do a podcast. So couldn't do that without you, and so much love. Thank you all very much.
Not even close to the significance of what you said, Murf, but still pretty cool. Murf, in 1987, I found myself the owner of 2 cassette tapes. One, Billy Idol, Vital Idol. I think it was 87. Let me double check my research here. But when I was a young kid, I had 2 cassette tapes I remember owning. Billy Idol, Vital Idol, and Murf, can you guess the other one?
In 87, I'm going to go with Appetite for Destruction.
I think I was around 8 years old is when I have this recollection of having these 2 albums.
So 86?
86.
Van Halen's 5150.
You think I'm cooler than I am, Murf.
Oh, no.
It was Billy Idol, Vital Idol, and then it was Madonna, Like a Virgin, her album.
Oh, man.
So, to this day, Murf, I've always had this, like, plethora of musical influence in my life that I like and stuff. You know, I like the screamo, the hardcore, the heavy metal, the Rage Against the Machines, the Data Remembers, all those kind of heavier bands and stuff like that. But I also like chick music, Murf. And today, Taylor Swift comes out with another album called Reputation. So there you go.
Are you serious right now? You're like for real gonna buy a Taylor Swift album?
I'm not buying it. I'm just saying it came out. She makes good music, man. It's good music. It's good music.
Oh my gosh.
Anyway, don't act like you don't have your freaking secret horrible music you listen to that you don't want to admit to anybody else.
Man, I don't think I do. I think I'm pretty transparent with everything I listen to. I can't think of anything that I like that would be, on that end. No, I like aggressive music, man. And the stuff I like that isn't aggressive is like old stuff, like, Beatles or, you know what I mean? Like that, or I even like oldies, like stuff from the 50s and even the 40s, like, Fallout music, you know what I mean? Like the Mills Brothers and stuff. Like, so the stuff that I like that's not aggressive is still cool. Like, I don't know, man. I wouldn't. Taylor Swift and Madonna, man. You're on an island there. I'm sorry. I can't get with you on that one, Sonny. I'm sorry, dude. I'd love to. I'm here to support you.
Yeah. Maybe I need to go into therapy. Maybe I need to go into therapy.
Yeah.
All right, let's.
Yeah, save that one for when you're not on a podcast that goes out to 27 countries.
It's all good. I got nothing to hide. It's like McDonald's, man. McDonald's sells 3 billion cheeseburgers a day, but nobody admits to eat one. Like, shut up. Everybody listens to it.
You're all about the McDonald's cheeseburger. That's right.
Well, you don't want to lose money on the deal. It's a good deal.
There you go.
All right, as Gaffigan would say. Let's jump into it, Murph. Let's jump into the Sea of Fans mailbag.
I forgot. We got to mention one more thing. How cool was it on Game 7 of the World Series for former Raiders Fan Radio interviewee guest on the show, Jose Hernandez, had his own Modelo Especial commercial. Wasn't that awesome, dude?
That was pretty neat. To see him up there and stuff like that. And that was his real dad in the commercial as well.
That was really, really cool. That was an awesome thing to see there. Okay, sorry. Back to the show.
There he is, fading, looking. He's under the gun. He's caught. He throws. It is. Oh, he caught it.
Sonny, we had another plethora of voicemails this week, and so thankful to all of you who. And I got a fat tongue today. I'm sorry. I'm biting all over my words here. We are so thankful to all of you that called into Raiders Fan Radio this week. It was a weird week, right? Like, we beat the Dolphins, and that was great. And we'll get into the different things here as we go through these voicemails about the game in particular and how our 3 reasons stacked up to the actual game. But anyway, so thank you to everybody that reached out to us and got some just some great voicemails. And the kind of the common theme was little trepidation. Like, people are excited that the Raiders won, but they're still kind of feeling a little icky about the way that game went down. So anyways, get to our first caller here. Let's go to Q-Dog, and Q-Dog almost calls his shot here at the end, and we got something for him after this voicemail.
Sonny, Murf, what's good? Aaron, the Q-Dog, ready to call him back off hiatus. I tell you what, I'm scratching my head. I had to take a day in order to recollect myself. The loss to the Bills, unacceptable. The loss to the Ravens, perplexing. The loss to the Chargers, just inexcusable. Two things. First of all, Rodney Harrison, you look, sound, and act like a guy that grew up around a bunch of girls. I know you're a little brother. I know your sisters picked on you and stuff like that. When you go step into Derek Carr, you better come correct. The offensive line is the reason, point blank, period, in the discussion, why our beloved Raiders have not achieved or attained the glory that they did last year whenever, they put the luster back on the Lombardi trophies that we have, 1, 2, and 3. I tell you what, this is sickening. The offensive line hasn't shown up, and I don't know if it was Donald Penn that was the cancerous one, but I tell you what, the Raiders need to unscrew this and unscrew it quickly. This is unacceptable on so many levels. I tell you what, I'm furious. I call the Raiders up, the defenders of the silver and black, my beloved club back there in Dallas, and I tell you what, we're not too happy about that. But you know what? We better get right before the boys come out there on the West Coast and try to handle up. So you know what? Love black, live silver. Do what you got to do, man. But I know this much. The offensive line act like they've been in the Deco dungeon playing patty cake, down there with Harvey Weinstein or something. But you know what? It's time to sack up, man up. This is unacceptable. Get it right, boys. Later. Oh, by the way, I'm a made man. That's a third call, baby.
There we go. Q-Dog, appreciate you calling in. Appreciate you being a made man. Murph, you got the music queued up?
I do, in fact.
All right, you know why we're here. So if you got any doubts or reservations, now's the time to say so. No one will think any less of you, because once you enter this family, there's no getting out.
The thing that made Jimmy so happy that morning was that this was the day that Tommy was being made. Jimmy was so excited, you'd think he was being made. Jimmy and I could never be made because we had Irish blood. It didn't even matter that my mother was Sicilian. See, it's the highest honor they can give you. It means you belong to a family and a crew. It means that nobody can f*** around with you. It also means you could f*** around with anybody just as long as they aren't also a member.
Congratulations, Q-Dog. Good stuff, man. Called a shot there at the end. Don't you love it?
Called a shot. Murph, with the many issues the Raiders have this year, I'm not sure I can pin it all on the offensive line. The offensive line, while they haven't been what they were last year, I don't think you can say it's all on them. With Todd Downing coming in, changing up the blocking scheme, changing up all the things he changed up, I don't know if I can solely place it on them. Austin Gale, Pro Football Focus, on Twitter, he posted out recently, Kelechi Osemele has earned a positive grade on 32 run plays this season, which ranks tied for 21 amongst all NFL offensive linemen this year. That's pretty good when you consider there's easily over 150 linemen who start in the NFL. He's tied for 21. Donald Penn tied for 23rd on similar such plays. Donald Penn is also, Murph, on pace to allow less than 25 pressures this season, which would be a career low for him in his 12-year career. And to put that in context, no other Raider starting offensive tackle with 500 pass block snaps has ever allowed for fewer than 27 pressures in a season since 2006 up until now. That's what Pro Football Focus can look at. So I don't know if you can pin it all on the offensive line. If anything, based on stats, look at the defense. Again, Austin Gale tweeted out earlier this week, David Amerson, Sean Smith, and I believe it was McDonald, have the lowest rating of any cornerback, of all cornerbacks in the league. They're like 121, 120, and 119 or something like that, which is absolutely ridiculous. Eddie Vanderdoes, the 72 snaps he's taken, or 72 defensive players in the league with over 100 run snaps, Eddie is tied for 65th. That's hideous. That is hideous. Amari Cooper, of the 87 wide receivers with 25 targets or more this season, he ranks 78th in passer quarterback rating when he's targeted. So there is blame to go around. I just don't know if it's 100% against the offensive line like Q-Dog said.
Well, hey, let's slow you down on Eddie Vanderdoes. I mean, by those numbers, he could be the third best defensive tackle on any team in the National Football League, Sonny.
That's true. He could be.
But here's what I took away from what Q-Dog's point was, though, is that and we've talked a lot about how numbers can really, out of context, you can kind of explain anything away based on what numbers you want to pull. And while I agree with everything that you just said, there's a chemistry issue on this football team, and the epicenter of that is the offensive line. I think that's more, and we'll get into the whole Miko thing and Donald Penn and Dominique Penn and all that. So we're going to get into that later, but there's just been a lot of drama and issue and things like that going on around this team since Washington. And, Reggie came out today and said that the whole concept of them giving up any kind of pressure to Carr intentionally, it was comical. And I fully agree with that. And I think those that have a sane rationale, I think that we all understand that isn't something that would happen intentionally, but there's still though is a chemistry issue. There's still
an issue. Yeah,
there's still a problem there. And to me, it's kind of all hovers around the offensive line. Don't you think? I mean, if we had to point, you got the most expensive offensive line in the history of the NFL that were crushing it last year. And now this year, they're kind of a mess. So, right? Like, isn't that, if we had to point to one thing, that was unexpected, wouldn't you think that it would be that line?
Well, you just changed it up there. If you had to say unexpected, yes. I would say it was unexpected the offensive line would not be gelled as they were. Are they the number one thing to blame? Heck no. The Raiders are -7 in turnovers. They also give up, I believe, the highest percentage on 3rd and 4th down conversions to the other team. It all falls on the defense, if you ask me.
Yeah.
Derek Carr's put
point.
up 300 yards and still lost the game. Against the Chargers, all we needed was one stop, couldn't get it. Against the Broncos, we let Trevor Siemian, we just let Jay Cutler go 16 for 16 before he had an incomplete pass against us. So while some may say, well, the defense is playing better than they have been in the past, yes, but we don't have a freaking turnover. If we have, turnovers create points, they stop the other offense, we probably have a positive record if we're getting turnovers right at this point in the time. So I don't think I can pin it all on the offensive line. At least I'm not there yet.
All right, I'm with you. That's fair. And I agree with you. It definitely all signs point back towards the defense. I think it's just an odd thing, this whole offensive line issue. Because
the whole season has been weird.
Yeah, well, that's
true. The whole captain. Anyway.
Yeah.
So I don't know if it's one thing. Here's what I keep thinking in my own head: is it players or coaches? What is? If you had to boil it down to one thing, is it players or is it the coaches? Is it players just aren't good, or is it the coaches aren't putting them in the proper spots? And I gotta go with the coaches, Murph. I have to think it's a coaching issue. When you had this talent last year, and to take that big of a hit, that's coaching.
All right, where players are not a problem, we're here in the Dago Dungeon on Raiders Fan Radio, and we go up to our second made man of today's episode. We're going to hear from, not only do we have two new made men on Raiders Fan Radio this week, but we are going to hear from the others as well. We're going to hear from everybody that's been made on Raiders Fan Radio this since we've been in existence. So anyways, that second one, congratulations to Red in Yakima.
What's going on, Sonny, Murf? It's Red. That's the offense that I'm used to seeing. I wish we were playing like that from game 3 on. Our D held it down for being second and third round corners. We could have slowed it up a little bit more on D. Our offense looked real good. Jared Cook is a monster. Carr is a monster, able to throw it, get the ball down deep, fed the beast. Lynch finally looked like beast mode again. I think if we could get our defense back on the field by the time we go see the Patriots, it'd be nice because we could use it. Could use it bad. Obi looked okay out there. I'd like to see more of some Obi. Hopefully we will. It seems like we play good every other week, so hopefully having a bye next week, we'll be able to come out the week after that and take down New England, because I fucking hate New England. And, yeah, that's that. The Patriots. Go Raiders.
Go Raiders. Murph, earlier in the week, the Raider Ramble posted an article. It said, Raiders escape from Miami. It was written by Super Raider. And he states, a win is a win, and as the Oakland Raiders try to get back in the playoff hunt, they'll take it. Yes, a win is a win, and you have to be careful with getting too much in the weeds on, well, it wasn't a good-looking win. It didn't didn't show anything. You know, I don't want to spend too much time on that, but if we're a playoff team, we should have killed the Dolphins. Jay Cutler's quarterback rating, I believe up until or weeks 2 through 7, was 78.8. You know what it was against the Raiders?
What, probably 100 and something?
121.3.
Oof.
I believe he was 16 for 16 before he missed an incomplete pass. I think he went the whole first half before he had an incomplete pass. We should have killed the Dolphins. They just got shut out by Baltimore a week earlier, and they traded in their best offensive player before playing us, and they still gave us a fight. I'm happy with the win, but I'm not happy with how it looked and what we had to do to get the win.
Now, and it got a little ugly there at the end, too, right? Like, I mean, sheesh. Talk about cutting it. Like, they had no business getting themselves back into that football game. And I remember it was kind of funny that you'd made a post on our social media about, you know, people getting ready to call in. And there was like, I don't know, a couple of minutes left in the game. And when you posted that up, and it was like the immediate response from everybody was, wait a minute. This isn't over yet, man. And it was like, oh crap. I'm sitting there watching this and I'm like, Lord have mercy. Don't tell me that they're going to freaking let the Dolphins get all the way back in this game. And sure enough, they did. Now, granted, you know, time was our friend, and the clock hit 0 before the Dolphins had a chance to come back and win. But my gosh, man, wasn't that? It's like you said, if this is a playoff team, look, this is not that isn't happening to the Patriots. That's not happening to the Eagles. That's not happening to whoever else. You want to pick them. You're not letting a team come back on you like that in the end. Ugh.
And we're 4-5. Chiefs are 6-3. We're still in the hunt. It's just us beating the Dolphins by 3 points. That really shouldn't give you any hope as a Raiders fan, other than the fact that they won, that we can do anything. If we beat the Patriots by 3 points, that's one thing. But the Dolphins, Jay Cutler torched us. Now we got to face Brady. I'm not trying to be a buzzkill, but I'm a little nervous going into that Patriots game after watching what happened against the Dolphins. And congratulations, Red, for being a made man.
All right, next up, I don't want to butcher his name. I think it's Rael, maybe, in Phoenix. But anyways, let's. Huh?
You're a freaking white guy.
Well, you say it then.
I don't know. I'm not looking at it in front of me.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm going to play it, and then you tell me what it is. Anyways, we'll go out to Phoenix, and thank you for calling the show.
Hey, guys. It's Raider Rail out in Phoenix, originally from New Mexico, currently living in Phoenix. Anyway, I'm not going to be a Debbie Downer or too negative. I know we're probably going to get a lot of those calls, so I'm just going to leave that for them. What I do want to go over something is what I observed from the game, just my non-expert opinion, and it was that opportunities were just flushed right down the drain. They had them in their hands, and they dropped it. Kind of reminded me of that commercial with the fisherman and the fishing pole with the dollar bill. Oh, you almost had it. Anyway, something I took away from the game was that first drive when Todd Downing scripted those plays. It was beautiful. It worked. It was efficient. Got us right down there and got us on the board and gave us an early lead. Gave us control of the game. And our defense is not good. It's very bad, but it holds up, and we can't expect it to hold for 4 quarters. But something I took away from the game was 4 out of the first 5 offensive possessions for the Bills were punts. We held them to a punt, and as far as I'm concerned, those are as good as turnovers. They give the ball right back to Carr 4 or 5 times, and he does nothing with it. He again throws the opportunity right down the drain. If they could have scored 2 of those possessions, put us up 14, 17, 21-0. All of a sudden, that changes the whole Bills game plan. They can't just hand it off to Shady and let him do his thing. They got to turn him into a passing offense, which they're not, and do it in bad weather. And that's kind of my takeaway. Wanted to let you guys know that wasn't feeling very happy about it. But go Raiders. Have a good one, guys. Bye.
Thank you for the call, Raider Blank. Appreciate you calling in.
I'm going to go with Rail. I'm going to go like R-A-E-L maybe?
That's what it sounded like to me too, Raider Rail.
Yeah.
Yeah, Raider Rail. Raider Rail. Appreciate you calling in. Talking about the Bills game. There was nothing really good about that game and stuff like that.
Oof,
so
brutal.
I don't know much.
Unless you like checkdowns.
Less like checkdowns. And he talked about the Raiders. He talked about the defense. And, I think as bad as the offense has been, or as just Jekyll and Hyde as the offense has been, defense has kind of gotten a pass. But, Murph, this is the first time in NFL history a team has gone 9 games without getting an interception. Like what the heck? That just doesn't happen. So, I don't know, man. I agree, Raider Rail. Defense needs to step up.
All right, next up, we're going to go to a new caller to the show. We'll hear from Jason in Boise, Idaho.
Here's something I want to throw out there for Raiders fans. You know what's awesome? That you can go to any store in any town, and the number one product that's sold out is Raiders gear. I have the hardest time trying to find the coolest things. I went in yesterday to a gas station to get a car wash. Boise, Idaho, where I live, where there's tons of Raider Nation for Life fans. There was every other team, Dallas Cowboys, New York Giants, tons of other teams with their product up on the shelf. I was looking for one Raider thing, sold out. So at this time, I've been on a mission looking for Raiders gear. I couldn't find anything. At Dick's Sporting Goods, Big Five, all Oakland Raider gear is always sold out. That's why I'm a Raiders fan, because I'm with a ton of fans that love the Raiders. So Raiders Nation for life. Thank you, Sonny. Thank you, Murf. Mate, my name's Jason Martin. Go Boise, Idaho.
Appreciate the call, Jason Martin up there in Idaho. Sold out, Murf, or they just don't stock it?
No, I'm going to go with sold out because he's in one of those kind of areas of the country that, it's going to be Seahawks gear. And then after that, I'm saying that the Raiders, Niners, some of your, other West Coast teams, like I have some friends that live in Idaho and they're huge Raider fans. So, I'm going to go with sold out. Now, granted, there's probably not a lot of merch on the shelves, so it doesn't take long to sell out. But still, point being, stuff stays sold out. I think it's cool.
Sonny, Murf, this is the Dakota Raider. Hey, I just got a fun question for you guys this week. Kind of want to hear your opinion. So, totally hypothetical, if Jack Del Rio were to lose his job within the end of his contract, which, I don't know, he had like 4 years or something. So hypothetically, on a scale of 0 to 100%, what do you think the likelihood of Gruden coming back would be? Let me just play devil's advocate here a little bit, but can you imagine if we had Chucky right now with the offense we have? Chucky with that O-line, oh my God, I'm just getting goosebumps right now, but I know it's kind of silly. But anyways, that's kind of attitude we need. And, a little PS here. Murph, I kind of disagree with you on Luani. It was his first NFL start. He played 68 snaps, and he had 2 really bad, they were bad plays. But come on, Reggie Nelson does more than that, and he's a veteran. So anyways, appreciate you guys. It's awesome what you do. Talk to you later. Bye.
Appreciate the call, Dakota Raider. If we lost Jack Del Rio, would John Gruden come back and coach? I'm still going to say no. I think he likes his cush job up there in the booth. And the longer he stays out of coaching, the greater his mystique grows in regards to his coaching. So it's one of those things where, do you stay retired and let the legend grow, or do you come back and potentially hurt your legend? And I think he's happy, so he's going to stay happy. I think it'd be pretty fun to have Gruden back, but I think a little bit of us, too, are kind of that nostalgic aspect of like, man, wouldn't it be great if Gruden were here and stuff like that? And I think we just got to move on.
So you give it we asked us for a percentage. So
I give it zero.
Yeah. He was on, John Gruden coincidentally was on Rich Eisen today, and Rich Eisen asked him whether he would, come back if the opportunity was right, and when was the last time he fielded a phone call from somebody reaching out to him for a coaching job. And he was pretty non-committal, but only non-committal short term. And I think that one day we see John Gruden back coaching in the NFL. So for that, or at least on a sideline. So for that, I say there's probably like a 30% chance, because one day he is going to coach again, but it's not going to be anytime soon. I think if Jack gets let go in this offseason, I don't see Gruden returning that soon. But, stranger things have happened, right? Dick Vermeil's come back out of after being retired for many, many years. And, there's a lot of evidence of other examples of that, I should say. So that's not impossible.
Yeah, it's impossible. His legacy's too strong. He's not going to ruin the legacy. I would think he gets more excited about, people just thinking he's God's gift to coaching than anything else. So,
well, and he's got it, and in that interview, he talks about a lot of the stuff that he's doing. And, he hosts all these coaches in from out of town, and they, he's got a lot going on, more so than just the Monday Night Football thing. This whole Fired Football Coaches Association thing he runs is it's a big, big deal. It's much more than just kind of like a gimmick. So, they're doing a lot of outreach and helping support, high school and youth football programs and all kinds. So it's much deeper than just Monday Night Football for Gruden. So yeah, it's going to take a monstrous opportunity to pull him away, and it was going to take a lot more time. I don't think he's tired of what he's already doing right now. And he's only 54. So you know what I mean? He's not, whole scheme of things. I know he's on the other side of middle age, but I mean, still, that when you think about coaching life, I mean, shoot, you can coach into your 80s for crying out loud. You know what I mean?
Yep. Not the way he coaches, but you could.
Well, that's true. That's true. All right. What about Luwani? So let me not necessarily defend, but at least back up my position on this. Here's where my criticism of Luwani came. That Dakota makes a great point. He's a young player. He's he only blew a couple of plays. Reggie Nelson has blown the same amount, and he's getting ready to retire. So that's a very fair point. My criticism of Luwani was more as Raider Nation, as fans. We're clamoring for this guy to come in, expecting he's going to come in and be Charles Woodson, or expecting he's going to come in and be, Eddie Anderson even. Like, he is a kid. He is a low round pick. He's not going to come in and set the world on fire. And I think that that's the people that were clamoring for him to start. They had this expectation that he was going to come in and be this rock star from day one. And that's not the case. And I think that he absolutely did a very serviceable job based on what his, talent level is and what the expectations are of him as a player and as people that have, scouted him and things. I think that sure, he did fine, but this idea of thinking he's going to turn into this amazing player and be, Ed Reed, come on. You know what I mean? That's more what my criticism was of Luwani, less direct to him and more direct to us as fans.
I'll say this. It's not Luwani's fault. It's not Obi's fault. It's not Bowman's fault. The Raider fans, and I'm including myself in this, we have a savior problem, if you think about it. You know what I'm saying, Murf?
Yeah.
We are constantly looking for a player or a coach or a coordinator or a GM to come save our franchise. We have this
or an owner.
Yeah, we have this lack of a savior complex that we're always clamoring for someone to come in and save us. Look at it right now. Conley. Once Conley gets on the field, he'll step up. Once Obi gets on the field, he'll cover the tight ends. Once Luwani gets on the field, he'll take care of Nelson. Once Todd Downing gets on the field, he'll correct Musgrave's top 6 offense. Like we have this next man up philosophy that just never works. Never, ever works. And I don't know what's going to satisfy that. Maybe it's just winning. Winning cures all. So maybe winning is going to satisfy that. But I think that's what a lot of these rookies suffer from. It's our own expectations that are so lofty, no rookie could ever step in and meet the demands of what we're asking for from these players. That's
a great point. And you know what's sad about it is that it diminishes what they do. Like it diminishes, so like a Marquel Lee or a Corey James or, these players that come in and really don't have a lot of a high expectation around them, that shouldn't anyways, but then that we put that on them. Then if they fall short, then they're criticized. And I was listening to Dan Patrick today also, and he was talking about Lonzo Ball in LA playing for the Lakers and how that there's this huge level of expectation around the poor kid that now when he falls short and he's got kind of an awkward shot and these other things, that now this criticism falls on him. And it's really unfair because it's expectations that we all have put as fans or his father has put on him as a player, where Dan's point was, if this guy kind of came in unheralded like a John Stockton, say, that now we'd be
having a great year.
We'd be talking about him going, hey, have you seen this ball kid for the Lakers? He's pretty good. He's kind of fun to watch. And so that's the same thing. Let's quit elevating these players. So you're right. Let's quit elevating these guys to this high standard before they ever take a damn snap in the league. And that way we can just enjoy them and say, hey, check out Markel Lee. He kind of made some plays. He's kind of fun to watch, right?
Yeah, we ruined the joy of seeing a new player based on our expectations.
All right, next up we go to San Diego and talk to Junior.
Hey, what's up, guys? Me, Junior from San Diego. I'm just livid. Yeah, we won the game, but, they were going to give it away at the end. No sense of urgency. Car at the end. We need to be able to put those games away and not leave it to the other team to be able to try to come back at the end. The play calling, I could have said, Marshawn. I said it. Marshawn's going to get it. Marshawn's going to get it. What, stuff. Play calling is mediocre. Come on, guys. It's just, yeah, we won. Great. I love it. Go Raiders, but we need to get some plays in there, and the guys need to, geez, we almost lost this. But go Raiders, and hope for the best. Thanks.
See, that's the same sentiment that I had, Murph.
Yep.
We won, great, but you don't feel good about it, right? It's almost like when you eat a whole pizza to yourself, you're like, okay, I had dinner, but I don't feel good about myself for eating this much food.
I don't know. It depends on what kind of pizza.
It's like you accomplished your goal. It's like cheating, against your kid playing basketball. Like, Dad's better than you, but you cheated, so you feel bad about it. It's like you feel good, or no, you don't. You won, but you don't feel good about it. And I think that was my walking away from the Dolphins game.
All right, let's go to another new caller, and we're going to go out to Los Angeles. We got a caller in the 310.
All right, just calling to say I love the Raiders too, but I'm not happy with the win. Yeah, we won, but we barely beat the Miami Dolphins by 3 points. The defense wasn't stopping them that great, They got one turnover, but they got one sack. They just need to be playing better all around. The defense, I think we need to get rid of Ken Norton Jr. The offense, I don't know about this offensive coordinator. Yeah, he pulled some out of his sleeve today, but sometimes it was vanilla in the beginning of the game. I'm not impressed with the offensive coordinator either. And sometimes maybe it's Derek Carr doing the check down in the team, but whatever. Anyways, you got the win. Go Raiders, All right, man. Later.
Same exact sentiment. I agree. Same exact sentiment.
All right, let's go one more. We got Jose Valencia. He's out in 209 area code. I'm guessing that's probably Stockton.
Hello, this is me, Jose Valencia. I'm a big-time Raiders fan, 100%, 24/7, all day, every day. This game was awesome, too. We beat the Dolphins. I had that feeling we were going to beat them. We need to be, I tell everybody in the Facebook, we need to be, declare it that has power. If you mention it, just say, I declare it, the Raiders are going to win. We are going to win. We need to keep the faith. Be united, and we are going to win. Trust me, we can win. Right now we're in second place now. I knew, I had a feeling Broncos was going to lose, Kansas City was going to lose, and I know Chokers are going to be losing too. But anyways, I have a feeling, and they did lose. So now we're in second place. But anyways, this is Jose Valencia. I thought probably I was going to be in the radio. And one of my best players back in the old schools, the running back, it was Bo Jackson. He was awesome, man. He was a beast. When Tim Brown, Howie Long, Marcus Allen. But anyways, we have the best logo, the best colors. Piratas, that means pirate. And then silver and black. We have the best colors, man. Hey, and it's not over yet. We still have a chance. We can still go to the playoffs. We can still go to the Super Bowl. We still have a chance. We need to keep winning it, but at least we're in second place right now. And so that's the good thing. And let's just keep the faith, declare, be united, and be positive and say, you know what, we're going to win. Not talk negative, just positive. So anyways, like I said, this is Jose Valencia, and God bless you, and Raiders de por vida, that means Raiders for life. And so anyways, Just have a feeling Kansas City is going to lose again next week. Broncos and Chargers, and we'll be first place on top again. But anyway, Oakland Raiders just win, baby. And I guess this is Jose Luis Valencia.
Thanks for the call, Jose. Thanks for the positive thoughts. Well-timed placement of that voicemail, Murph, after we played some ones and agreed with them. Are we cynical, Murph? Are we cynical Raider fans now where it's like, oh, great, you won. Good job. Oh, good, we're in second place. Oh, good job. It's like, it's so hard being a sports fan because you just go back and forth. You're just you're so up and down with it, and I guess that's the definition of a fanatic. You don't see things objectively. You're just so emotionally invested. And just like we talked about with the players, we have these heightened expectations for the players. That's what happened this season, is everybody came into this season. Raiders. And now we're 4-5 in second place. We're like, meh. So, we're still in it. All we got to do is win our division. If we win our division, we're in the playoffs. We don't have to have a great record. Remember, it was a couple years ago, it was the Saints or the Seahawks went 7-9, and they made it to the playoffs. So it's like, you don't have to have a great record to get in. You just got to win your division. And we're well within reach of doing that. So, maybe Jose is right. Maybe we should have a little more positivity. Maybe we shouldn't be so cynical. But I don't know. I don't think God cares about football as much. But I don't know, Murph. What do you think?
Well, that's what I thought when he said declare it and it will be true. I like that, right? Because that appeals to our faith, and I think that's really cool. But first off, let's address this. So he says it's possible, right? It's possible the Raiders can make the playoffs. It's possible the Raiders can go this way. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, 100%.
There are many examples of teams that have done those types of things before. And so when you look at the division, it was within reach. And we are 2 games out of the wild card. Now, granted, we are behind the Buffalo Bills, who would own a tiebreaker against us in the wild card. But the Jaguars right now are the other team. And so there's a chance for us to have a good look at a wild card spot. And look, it wouldn't be the first time the Raiders won a Super Bowl with a wild card. So I think all that said, I think if this were most of the other 13 years prior, that I really still would be encouraged by this year. But because of what you just said, that not only was there a high expectation for the team and the way they were going to perform, but just me personally as a fan, I found myself getting caught up for the first time in a very long time. Now, there was the first couple years after 2002, right, where we still kind of had a lot of the same players, and until Gannon got hurt, and really, those things started to happen where he couldn't come back, and then you could kind of start to see the thing, not only falling off or go as a downturn, but you kind of falling off a cliff, right? And then we got into the latter part of that decade, and the early part of this one, and there were some lean years, man. And so, those years, when we were hovering around 500, heck, that felt pretty good. The Hugh Jackson years when we were 8-8 and stuff, it was like, all right, this feels kind of good. Like we're headed in the right direction. We're not going to be 2-14, so this feels good. But this year, we were coming off a playoff appearance, knowing that we had our leader and arguably one of our best players injured right before the playoffs. So we felt like we were robbed. And then so taking that scenario, there was no reason for us to believe anything other than the fact that the Raiders were not only going to compete for the division, but they were going to compete for a conference and likely be good enough to win a Super Bowl like that. So that was our expectation coming in. So I don't know if we're so much cynical or if we're just so let down that, gosh, here we are back to those, fighting for your 500 life again. And, we had expectations that wasn't even going to be close to to what it was going to be. And here's the other thing. While we kind of expected the defense to be let down at time, we were expecting this offense to be freaking setting records. And they're, I'm not going to call them trash, but they're not that great, man. Like, they're not that great. So what do you get left with, right? You get left with just kind of, oh, well, okay. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. So
all right. Let's hit another ad here. Let's listen to Uncle Mark tell us about the Raiders Fan Radio app, and then we'll wrap up our last few calls.
Hey, Raiders fans, check this out. Raiders Fan Radio has got an app. I don't know what that means, but you do, because you're listening to this on a computer or something like that. Anyway, go to the Apple Store. Apple Store?
Apple Play Store?
Apple,
No, Google Play.
Apple
has an App Store. Google has a Play Store.
App Store. You can get it at the Apple Store or the App Store or whatever that is. You can, if you got an Android, isn't that like a robot? You can go to Google Play Store. They got show links, they got downloads, they got all kinds of really cool stuff. Hey, if you can't figure it out, give it to a teenager. They know how to work these phones better than you do.
Hey, Sonny and Murf, what's good, fellas? Yayo from Central Jersey. I wanted to give you guys a little shout out. Thanks for plugging me in with the Booster Club out here. I'm actually going to check them out this Sunday. Oh, next Sunday, our next game against the Patriots. We got our win, so that's cool. Our defense looks terrible still, but I don't know. I don't see that changing anytime soon. JDR still got to go. Other show. Thanks, guys.
Appreciate the call, Yale. I believe that's the second time calling in Murph. One more time, and Yale's a made man. Very cool, Murph, that I'm in Oregon, you're in Tennessee. A guy from Jersey calls into the show, wants to be connected to a booster club. I think you corresponded with him and connected him, and now he's going to be connected over there in Jersey for the Patriots game. That's awesome, man. If nothing else, that's the highlight of being a Raiders fan. It's that we're everywhere. We're in all states. We're in several countries. Me and Murph are starting to find out. And you can pretty much find a Raider fan base anywhere you go.
If we've done anything with this podcast that we do, if we're connecting Raiders fans with one another, man, that's what it's all about right there. So speaking of that, speaking of New Jersey, let's go to crowd favorite, Chuck Splatterhead McCann.
What's up, guys? It's Chuck McCann. Hey, we won. Kansas City lost. Denver lost. There's some pros. Pros and cons, man. Jared Cook. Marshawn. They both had good nights. There was a lot of ugly stuff out there, though. Here's the thing. You're supposed to beat Miami. I can't get too excited about it. I'm happy because it does get us back in this thing. Second place in the division right now. But you know what? Go back to our glory years. Go back to the Stabler years, the Plunkett years. You know what? We were never a great team. I mean, we really just won. We had some great postseason performances, and it's hard when you go back and watch because they didn't bother showing the scores much on TV back then. But still, they were always ugly games, man. They were close games, they were ugly games, and somehow we just pulled it off in the end. That's what we did last night. That's what we did against Kansas City. That's what we did last year in all of our wins. And if we can keep it up, then you know what? We got a shot. But we gotta put this into perspective, man. New England is not the Miami Dolphins, and that elevation, you know, that's gonna kill everybody. I mean, at least we're not traveling as far as they are. But I don't know. It's a scary game, and everything from here on out is do or die. We have to win. We have to win. We have to win, and we got some tough games coming up. I don't know if the bye. You know, everybody has mixed feelings about bye weeks, but look, we are in it. We're in it by a shoestring, but we're in it. So let's hope they can pull it off. I don't know. I couldn't call last week because I had nothing to say about that game. Side note, though, about the podcast, Murph, you know, we may have been at some of those same Bay Bomber game matches because back in when I was in 7th grade or so, back in 80, whatever that was, I lived a block off San Carlos in San Jose, right behind Dragon Tattoo there. And me and my buddies used to walk down to the Civic Center or catch the bus and watch those games all the time. Had a lot of fun. So go Raiders and go Bay Bombers. All right, guys, I'm out.
Look at that, Murph. You and Chuck brushing shoulders way back in the day. Never even knew it. How awesome is that? Murph, New England is going to Denver this week. Sunday night game. They're going to stay in Denver. and go right to Mexico City. What advantage does that give them over the Raiders?
I don't know. People are debating it, right? Well, let's just say this. The first criticism was, the criticism of the Patriots was that it gives the Raiders advantage because the Raiders will already be there and they'll get accustomed to the altitude. Well, the Patriots are staying at like the Naval Academy or something there in Colorado, and they're staying in altitude. So that's kind of a smart move by Belichick, I think, that instead of giving the team the early travel, they're just staying in an environment that will be similar to the one that they're in now. So I think that it's going to end up being kind of balanced, don't you think? I mean, now granted the Patriots have to play this week. The Raiders don't. So the Raiders are going to have plenty of extra time to prepare, but I don't know if that gives the Raiders an advantage either, because we've seen what the Raiders do with a long week to prepare. Hello, look at us after the Thursday night game, and we had all that extra time to prepare for Buffalo, right? So I don't think that doesn't seem to me any way that things lean in favor of one team or the other.
I kind of want to give the slight edge to the Patriots. I don't know when the Raiders are going down there, but the Patriots will be basically in that altitude from Saturday until the game in Mexico City. I don't think the Raiders are going to be there this Saturday, so I think that gives the Patriots a slight edge. And the other thing Chuck said is we are still in it. The shoestring, we're still in it. It doesn't really matter how you win, just as long as you win and win that game. And the most important game is the next upcoming game. So he's right about those things. I mean, you can't argue those things, And so maybe again, we need to pick our own selves up and not be so let down by how we won. It's just a matter of that we won. And again, it's such a weird season, Murph, because realistically, this team could be 6-3. If Jared Cook catches a touchdown pass against the Broncos and our defense makes a stop against the Chargers, we're 6-3. And we're not having any of these conversations, and every one of us is talking like Jose about having the faith and having a great year. So, again, the weird season rolls on.
Well, first off, let me correct myself. It's not the Naval Academy, you moron, Murph. It's the Air Force Academy, because there's not a huge Navy in Colorado. Jeez. So, anyways, but that's where they're staying. And hey, how cool, about Chuck going to the Bombers games. Or matches, as he said. So he was there when our Uncle Louie was announcing the games and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, there you go. That is pretty cool. And he also mentioned that he lived around the corner from Dragon Tattoo. Sonny, guess where I got my first tattoo?
Dragon Tattoo.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, pretty cool stuff there. All right, next up, let's go to somewhere that does have a Navy. Let's go up to Alaska and hear from Andrea.
Hey, Sonny and Murph. It's Andrea from By Any Means. I didn't guess right last week, but we actually beat the Dolphins, even though it could have been a lot easier. Our defense is still struggling mightily, but I must say that I was impressed with Obi. We did get a nice glimpse of Marshawn and what he's capable of. Even though we did get the win, I still think Jack Del Rio needs to be taken out back to pick out his own switch, Adrian Peterson style, just for general principle so it doesn't ever happen again. Anyways, I gotta go. I'm watching a prison riot. Talk to you guys soon.
The heck's going on up there in Alaska? Switches and prison riots. The hell? Andrea, good friend of the show, co-host of By Any Means podcast, also contributes for RaiderRamble.com. I don't even know where to begin with that call. That was I know, right? Obi played good.
There we go.
Played good.
Yeah.
Again, a little savior complex kicking in, but Obi played good. Defense is still suspect. I agree. I don't know what we need to do with Del Rio. I don't know what to think about Del Rio yet. He hasn't really. It's like Del Rio has just existed as our coach. You know what I'm saying? Like, he hasn't done anything like super great. Last year was really fun with the gambles, but that could have easily been we want your head because you keep gambling away our season, right? Like last year with all those gambles, that could have backfired on him dramatically. But it was fun. It was a fun ride. It was fun in the moment. This season, it's like ho hum. So, he hasn't really done anything like super great or super bad. So it's like he's just kind of existed as our coach. So I'm not really quite sure what to think of him. And I think as time moves forward with this season and how this season ends up, we'll kind of have a clearer picture.
He's kind of been an uneventful coach, right? And he's in this whole humdrum, apologetic, vague answers. Like, you know, I don't know. He doesn't handle adversity as far as his tone and his delivery goes. He doesn't handle adversity real well. Like, he's all jovial and yucking it up when they win. But when they're, you know, as we talked about in the last show, when things are going tough, he's got this demeanor that's just downtrodden.
And he kind of blames others too sometimes.
Yeah, man. So I don't know. I'm with you on that one. All right, next up, let's go to Ron in Alliance, Ohio.
Hey guys, Ron from Ohio. Denver gets blasted. Kansas City loses. Oakland wins an ugly game. All right, we'll take it. Now we got to beat the Patriots, and we need to focus all of our hate on the Patriots for 2 straight weeks here until we can go down to Mexico City and get ourselves a win. Have a good one, guys.
Cut and dry. Thanks for calling in, Ron. I agree. Got to get the win against the Patriots. Murph, if we win against the Patriots, I think my sickness is healed. I think world hunger is healed. I think everything is healed if we beat the Patriots. Don't you think?
It will certainly rectify a lot of bad things that have gone on this season. That's for sure. I mean, you know, I feel like nowadays, like, everybody hates the Patriots. When I say everybody, I mean Raiders fans hate the Patriots more than they hate, like, the Broncos or something. Like, everybody's like,
it's misplaced. Come on.
I mean, and you know,
agree,
it's like, look,
it seems like that way.
Tuck rule was a long time ago, and look, let's not pretend like we were going to go in there and beat the Rams, even if and that wasn't even a championship game, y'all. That was a playoff game. So I mean, look, so I don't know. I just like this hatred for Tom Brady and this hatred for the Patriots. Like, I mean, I get it because they're the class of the AFC, and you want to be the best, you got to beat the best. But I don't know, this whole I just feel like this is overstimulated, like, you know, passion to hate these guys. It's like, it's almost like it's fashionable. It's like, they're not a threat.
It is.
You want to hate somebody? Hate Phillip Rivers, man. You know what I mean? Like, that's the guy you want to hate. You know what I'm saying? Like, hate Von Miller. Like, what did Tom Brady have to do with anything? You know, so
well, it's mixed in with the Patriots are the best right now, and you can't argue that they're the best and they're the class of the NFL right now. So I think that's where it's mixed in because of the Tuck rule, and some Raider fans just know the Tuck rule, so they automatically hate Tom Brady because of that. And then B, because they're the best, you combine those two things. That's why people hate the Patriots or seemingly hate the Patriots more than your own division rivals. But, yeah, I mean, come on. If you're a Raiders fan, Broncos, Chiefs, Chargers, then everybody else is a distant second.
Absolutely. And I mean, in this year, I mean, you know, you better learn to hate Dak Prescott and Des Bryant and all those guys too. Cause I mean, who are and Carson Wentz and you know what I mean? Like, who's threatening our freaking, you know, yeah, you can hate Tom Brady this week, but then get off of that and move on to the next guy, man, because there's a lot of people that are going to get in our way before the Patriots will when it comes to this season. So anyways, good call from Ron there. All right. So we're going to end up full circle from where we started. We started off with Q-Dog and we started off with Red as our most 2 recent made men here on Raiders Fan Radio. And we're going to end with where it all started with the first made man here on Raiders Fan Radio. And that is Johnny in San Diego.
Hey, Sonny and Murf, Johnny in San Diego, made man, hashtag that. Just checking in, man. I haven't been able to call in a bit, but just want to give just some observations from the last Sunday night game. You know what? I think this whole Todd Downing experiment is something we have to stick by. It's growing pains. He's never done it before. I mean, that's Derek's dude. So they have to find that happy medium, right? Happy medium of understanding what Derek's strengths are, which he probably should already know, and having a balanced attack on offense. So, you know, you keep Downing in place because what's the alternative? You go to Mike Tice. I mean, the last time he was running as OC, that offense wasn't exactly explosive. You know, you keep Downing in place, and then you move forward. Just wanted to touch a little bit on the defense. It's worse than bend and don't break. I mean, there are no interceptions. You know, Mac is getting to the quarterback, but nobody else is doing anything else. Where's the rest of the D? I know we're depleted at defensive back of the secondary. Obi looked pretty good. I still, you know, since week 2, week 3, week 4, I think we all want just a clarification on Gary and Conley. Is he in? Is he out? That's pretty much it. That's all we needed. And just the last thing, Nico Grimes, man, why? What does she get from this? Is it just all pub? You know, if Derek was really thumping the Bible to all his teammates, don't you think we would have heard a little bit about this in his college days? You know, from college teammates. Yeah, I don't get that. Miko Grimes, go back to what you do, which is, I don't know what it is. Go Raiders.
Appreciate the call, Johnny. A lot of ways to go on that. First, I'll say I agree. Todd Downing needs to stay and see what happens. Let's play this out. I'm not a fan of early firings, despite my fandom maybe 2 weeks ago that says we need to fire him. I'm always a fan of let's let things continue. Successful franchises, successful organizations allow things to happen, allow things to grow, allow there to be consistency, and that's we'll find out if Todd Downing is a real deal or not. Regarding Miko Grimes, this chick's just wanting to get airtime, and that's it. You know who her source was for this, Murph? Did you hear about that?
No, I didn't. I just saw the interview when she was on the radio show there.
Her source for the fighting in house was Raider Bounty. I don't know if you know who Raider Bounty is.
What is that?
Raider Bounty is a guy on Twitter who was one of Dr. Death's friends. We actually talked to him several years ago when we were doing the Sports Dagos podcast. He was one of Dr. Death's sidekicks for a long time over there in Oakland. His Twitter handle now says former fan. He's flipping off the Raiders organization, and he's a pissed off, angry former fan of the Raiders. So he's one of those SIO guys that's looking to cause problems, looking to cause trouble. And this rumor came up several weeks ago that there was the in-house fighting, that the offensive line didn't want to protect their quarterback. The thought is just stupid because if Donald Penn jeopardizes Derek Carr, he also jeopardizes his own season, and he also jeopardizes his longevity in the league. So does Kelechi Osemele, so does Rodney Hudson, so does Gabe Jackson, and so does Marshall Newhouse, a.k.a. the helicopter man. So if any one of these guys purposely lets Derek Carr get hurt, they're only jeopardizing their own success in their profession. And you don't go to that level and have that sense of pride and that sense of ego. And this isn't a bad thing. You have to have pride and ego to live to function in the NFL this level. You don't get that far and just let somebody get hurt and jeopardize your own chances at success. So the story is completely asinine. However, something happened in the Washington locker room, and I'll continue to say this, that messed with the team chemistry a little bit. It seems like we're coming back. I don't think it was, the allegations of they purposely let Derek Carr get hurt. Come on, man, that's just ridiculous. But I do think something happened. Maybe there was a disagreement. Maybe there was just the setting. I know they were supposed to come out for halftime or for the kickoff, but then they were supposed to go back inside the locker room, but then they didn't have enough time, so that all got thrown around. But something happened. We might not never know. I'm sure something happens in locker rooms all the time that we never know. But the allegations that this guy purposely got hurt because of his offensive line, that's just ridiculous. And consider the source, not only Miko Grimes, but consider where she got it from, is a pissed off Raiders fan who's one of Dr. Death's sidekick. And we all know what that guy's about now. And so it's stupid. We've already spent too much time talking about it.
Sitting there in your kimono, looking at your baby in her caftan. You're listening to Raiders Fan Radio. That's right. Two bald-headed idiots talking to you guys. Keeping their foreheads slick and sexy. That's by Raiders fans, for Raiders fans. The only fans that matter.
All right, Murph. We're still a week and a half away, a week and 2 days away from the Patriots game, but we're not doing a podcast next week or this upcoming week, so we want to talk about our 3 reasons why we think the Raiders will beat the Patriots. Normally in this segment, one of us takes the opposing team, one of us takes the Raiders team, and we talk about why we think both sides have a chance at winning. Well, Murph, we're not going to do that this week. We're going to do something a little different because it is the Patriots, and because they're the best team in the league, and because there was the Tuck rule. None of us felt good with picking them to beat our Raiders. So instead, me and Murph will go back and forth with 3 reasons why the Raiders should beat the Patriots.
Give me one reason why I should listen to you. Give me one good reason.
Give me one good reason why I...
So you give me one good reason.
Give me one good reason.
Give me one good reason. Give me one good reason.
Why don't you give me one reason?
3 reasons.
333, 333. It's always 333. It's always the same.
I can think of 3 real good reasons.
3 reasons.
Top 3? Top 3.
There you go. Number 1. Good intro. This show's been chaotic. Yeah. We deserve a break.
It's been chaos, man. I'm with you.
Yeah,
we're out of sorts,
number
man.
Number 1 reason why the Raiders beat the Patriots.
That's all right.
The Patriots are giving up 27 points per game. The Raiders are giving up 21.8 points per game. As much as the defense of the Raiders, we haven't liked. They're middle of the pack in regards to giving up points per game. The Patriots have no defense. Their defense might be worse than the Raiders' defense, and they just lost their middle linebacker. So the Raiders have a chance on offense to put together a game plan to beat the Patriots. Whether or not they will, we don't know. Patriots are really well coached, both sides of the ball. Plus, they got Belichick, so you don't know what could happen. But if Todd Downing puts it together, Raiders could put it on this Patriots defense and hang up 30 on them. And just let's hope our defense gives up less than 30, so to say.
All right, Sonny, for reason number 2, my reason is my 3 reasons from last week. So let's check these boxes here. To beat the Miami Dolphins and also beat the New England Patriots, Marshawn Lynch has got to get going, and I think that his legacy is potentially on the line, especially when it comes to his legacy with the city of Oakland, and he doesn't want to go out as the guy that underperformed in his last season or two, and sure enough, he brought it against the Dolphins. Now, great, he didn't have a huge stats day, but that's not what you bring Marshawn in for. You bring him in to score in the red zone and to run the ball into the end zone, and that's what he did, and so I thought I'd give him like a B grade, so I think that we can check that box. Next box was Todd Downing. We needed the Raiders to open it up a little bit, get away from all these stupid checkdowns that we saw in Buffalo, get out there, open it up, put pressure on the defense against those Miami Dolphins. And sure enough, was it ideal? No, but he utilized Jared Cook and some others down the field, and it led to a Raiders victory. You mentioned that the Patriots are going to be down on defense. This is the kind of defense where we could use to put the ball in the air, put some pressure on him deep, and then let Jared Cook and others get loose down low. And then the last thing, Sonny, that I said the Raiders needed to do to beat the last thing the Raiders needed to do to beat the Dolphins on Sunday Night Football was take advantage of the literally now world stage. It was the Sunday Night Football stage last week, prime time, under the lights, the whole world is watching, and now internationally, you're on the road. Once again, the whole world is watching. You're playing against the most high-profile team in all of football, arguably all of sports, up there with the Lakers and the Yankees and the New England freaking Patriots. This is the time, Raiders. Put it together. It doesn't make everything prior go away, but it feels an awful lot better knocking off one of, if not the best teams in the NFL, ending up 5-5. You get a conference win. Hey, look, that will right a lot of wrong so far this year. So hopefully those 3 things happen again, and that is our second reason why the Raiders will win against the New England Patriots.
Finally, Murph, along the same sentiment as you, big players show up in big games. This is the game that Derek Carr, Marshawn Lynch, Amari Cooper, Khalil Mack, this is the game we need our big players to show up. Because if we beat the Patriots, we right the first half of the season. We start the second half of the season on the right track. In Austin Powers and Jack Del Rio's words, we get our mojo back, which I'm so tired of hearing. But you know what I'm saying? We right the ship. We beat the Patriots. We get confidence. We get to 500, and then things become not easier, but at least believable to not only the fans but to the players, because we still have the Chiefs, the Broncos, the Cowboys, the Eagles. We have some tough games still on our schedule. And if we can come out and beat the Patriots fresh off of our bye, that could set the tone for basically the second half of the Raiders season. This game is huge. It's in Mexico City, out of the Raiders' element. The benefit to them is they've been there before, and it sounds like, based on a Jack Del Rio press conference earlier this week, that we're going to be there for the next couple of years, which is a whole other can of worms. But we're going to be there. We've been there. We're going to be there again. So the Raiders are a little more familiar with the scenery, what we're supposed to do, all that kind of stuff. I got to like that a little bit. The Patriots will have spent the week in Denver, so they're not going to be their regular selves. They'll be the ones kind of what we've done the past couple years on the East Coast. They're staying somewhere else. They're going to a new place. They have to figure it all out. So maybe all that will come into play and help the Raiders. But needless to say, big players step up in big games. And how cool would it be to watch Derek Carr in maybe a shootout, since both defenses don't want to stop anybody? How cool would it be to see Derek Carr in a shootout with Brady and have Derek Carr come out on top as a way of saying, hey, you know what, Rodney Harrison? F you, F your Patriots. This is my league now. Take it easy, Tom, and go eat some kale chips.
That would be beautiful. You know, we wanted to see the torch get passed last year. We didn't. We were robbed of that opportunity with Carr's injury. We were hoping we were going to then see it this year, and we're sort of being robbed of that because of the lack of performance on the field. But maybe we could still get a glimpse of it. Maybe we could still get that opportunity to see Derek Carr and the Raiders knock off the Patriots and to watch that uncomfortable handshake in the middle of the field in which, Tom Brady acknowledges that there's another gunslinger in town, that there's another up-and-coming quarterback in town, the guy to carry the mantle of greatness, a quarterback in the NFL. We trust and hope that it's Derek Carr. And this is the time, right? This is the time.
This is the game. This is a pivotal game. You know, for the Raiders to realistically make the playoffs, you know, they could be 9-7, but that means the Chiefs only have to win 3 more games to get there. You got to think the Chiefs are going to win more than 3 games. Chiefs are going to win at least 4 or 5. So they're going to have 10 or 11 wins. We have 4. So we need 6 or 7 more wins. Every game is crucial from this point out. And every time you lose, that means you have to win that many more. And so Raiders are running out of chances. If they lose against the Patriots, that means they're 4-6. The best they can finish is 10-6. That means they have to win out from there on out. So the players know it. I mean, big game players show up in big games. Let's see it, Raiders. Are you legit? Are you guys prideful? Do you have pride in your team? This is the chance to showcase that. And with that, Murph, I guess that's the show. You don't have a black hole, right?
No black hole this week. We're going to take a break, enjoy some time off, and reconvene after the Patriots game. And in the meantime, everybody, do us a favor, please. First off, thank you for listening to us at Raiders Fan Radio, and continue to support the show by liking our Facebook page, our show page. You can look for it at Raiders Fan Radio. Support us on iTunes if you're an iOS user. Subscribe to the show, review the show, rate the show. Any opportunity you have to interact with us and to support, that's the best way that you can. And we, of course, we love all the support we've already gotten to this point, and so not to downplay that by any means. But please continue if you haven't done so yet. Do those things for us, because that really helps Sonny and I with our efforts kind of behind the scenes. So thank you to those of you that have done it, and thank you in advance to those of you that will hook us up. And Sonny, we might need to do another contest. You know, I still got that Marcus Allen jersey we probably should give away. Maybe we'll do another like and rate and review type contest or something, huh?
Yeah, we could do that. We're kind of limping into the bye week here. We're like the Raiders. We're limping in. And so, we like to come back fresh and do some fun stuff when we come back and stuff like that. But yeah, contests and all that kind of stuff are fun. Appreciate all the support for the show. Appreciate everybody calling in. It's kind of been now making our show now when you guys call in. It's kind of a fun way to do the show. It's just to hear from other people from across the country in regards to the Raiders and stuff like that. So appreciate all the interaction on Twitter, Facebook, even on Reddit occasionally. And keep downloading, subscribing, and keep calling in. And we love hearing about it and talking about it with you guys and stuff. And no matter how cynical we get, it's Raider Nation for life. So, that comes with the good, bad, and the ugly. But it's always going to be the Raiders. So, RaidersFanRadio.com is our website. You can find all of our information there about our show. And something we hope to do when we have the bye week is update our website and put everybody who's a made man on the website. So maybe if you are a made man, send us a little bio, maybe about yourself. And you can send it via email, Facebook, or Twitter. Just send us a brief little bio, when you became a Raiders fan, how old you were, stuff like that. And then and we'll steal a picture from your Facebook, or if you want to give us a picture, we'll post it on the website. It'll be kind of fun and a way to kind of honor you guys for being made men and stuff like that. Anyway, until next week, Murph, hopefully we get that Patriots win, and we're sitting at 5-5 next time we come on here. Because if not, it might be a sad sack full of shows for the rest of the season. So hopefully we beat the Patriots and can start moving forward. Until then, it's Raider Nation, wherever, forever.
First of all, Ronnie Harrison, you know, you look, sound, and act like a guy that grew up around a bunch of girls